back to the ranch. Today I want to talk to you about water and transporting water around. Now, if you go to a lot of farm and home stores, you can get these great big massive water tanks that you forklift into the bed of your truck, and it takes up pretty much the whole truck. And they're like 500 gallons or something, which is great if that's your need. But we're kind of also in that need, but at the same time, with everything going on, uncertainty of the world, and not even just that, but it is so easy for us to go without water. We rely solely on our well, and there's a lot of reasons that we could be without water. Water line breaks, pressure switch goes bad, well pump goes out, there's just lots of reasons. Power could go out. We're the last house on our power line, so if a tornado comes through, an ice storm comes through, a tree comes down on the power lines, it's very plausible for us to be without power for a day, 2 days, a few hours. And if we're without power, that means we're without water. And if we go about 2 days without water, I have to start filling up water tanks for the horses. So that brings me to this solution. Even if you don't have animals, even if you just say have a family of 4, this is an interesting solution. These are 50-gallon drums. So these tanks came from a company called Cargill, and they used to have sunflower oil in them. So with that, sunflower oil, it's cooking oil. This is food-grade containers. It's probably not ideal, but in a pinch, this is a great source of an emergency water supply for you and your family. What I have seen in the past, we're not necessarily doing it, but what I have seen is at my friend's house, he had 3 of these, I believe, just lined up in his living room, put a sheet of plywood over it, put a tablecloth over the front so you couldn't even see what was here, and that was their entertainment center. DVD player, TV, all sat on top of this. So what that gave him was 150 gallons of water, and it was just straight tap water, and that was, his water supply in the event of long-term power outages, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever your emergency is. This is not a bad option to have in your house. Now, with us and the well, I probably am not going to have these full of water all the time, because I have the option of taking the tractor or the Bobcat to the pond, and I'm going to try to get a system set up to where I can just easily fill these up with pond water. Not going to be able to drink it right away, but that way I can water the horses, water the llamas, flush the toilets. 3 big projects that I would easily be able to deal with if we're without power or without water for any length of time. I would then also be able to take these and boil the water as needed, so then we can bathe in it and drink it. So these caps right here, they have threads on the inside. They have female threads here, so you can take a male threaded faucet fitting, and this is 3/4 inch, and you can screw it in with a little bit of Teflon tape to keep it watertight. So you're going to be able to screw these on and then have this set up to where you can just tip that on its side now, and you can hook up a water hose to it, and you have, in our case it'll be pond water, but in your case it could be your normal tap water. Now, it does have these barrels I bought used, so they had sunflower oil in them. That is key. You have to know what was in it. You do not want to be using this for potable water if this was used for motor oil or something else. Definitely if it was acid, motor oil, diesel, anything toxic like that, you don't want to be reusing these tanks. So you want them either brand new, or you want to buy them when they had something that was food grade in it. Whether it's a cooking oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, something along those lines. So what I need to do is I'm going to pop this second cap off. There it goes. So if you break that little piece of metal that holds this cap on, it should pop right off. So I'm just going to take a flathead screwdriver, and there's a little metal banding that's holding this plastic Cargill cap on. There we go. So break that metal cap off, plastic one comes off easily. Nope. There we go. Okay, so these caps, you have two caps. One has a coarse thread and one has a fine thread. So they're going to have to go back. They can only go back in their original positions. But both of them have threading on the inside to accept a faucet. So this is a solid cap. So at this point, what I'm going to do is you either want to take a drill and drill this out, take a saw or a chisel and chisel this piece off. You want to have free flow of water through this cap. So I'm going to attempt to just take my chisel . Okay. Now you're not going to get a lot of water coming out of this at any given time, but you'll get some, and that's really what you're looking for. So I want to take my Teflon tape, so as I thread this into the plug, it's actually tightening the tape versus loosening it. There is a right way and a wrong way to do it. So I'm turning the threaded piece clockwise, and I'm just letting it roll off of its spool. And at this point, it's just a matter of screwing this on. So now, in an emergency situation, I now can hook a garden hose up to this, lay this barrel on its side, and just open and close to get water. So as I said, this did have cooking sunflower oil in it. So before I put potable drinking water in this, you're going to want to wash it out really well. So I'm just going to start putting water in here. I'm going to use a very liberal amount of Dawn dish soap. So as I rinse this out, I'm going to just let the water run, and I'm going to keep moving the barrel around so it truly gets all the surfaces inside there. Because I don't want any of this oil to get into my drinking water. So very simple project. If you're needing to transport potable water around, this is a very inexpensive way to do it. I paid 20 bucks for this tank, I believe. Maybe 10. I think I paid $10 for this tank. I think it was $20 for the two of them. And you will need to put this on kind of at an angle, so that way you actually have room between your truck bed and your faucet. But if you had this raised up just a little bit, then you could have it straight up and down. But as of right now, I can pop this cap loose a little bit so that air can get in this side, and then I can open this up, and now I got water running out the end of this hose. And I have now a portable water tank. Well, I have two of them now. So whether I'm preparing for an emergency or just normal shit happens, this is going to be my solution here at MD Triple Creek Ranch for getting water to my horses. And worst case scenario, with the two of them, what I can do is I can set one of them, say, up at the porch or even inside the house, go fill this one up, and then transfer all the water from this one, from the bed of my truck, to the one in the house. And then I can go back to the pond and I can fill this one up again, and I can just go around and keep filling things up as I need to. Because these are heavy when they're done. I mean, when you have these things full, they are not light. You can tip them over and you can roll them around, but you're not going to pack them upstairs. You're not going to carry them around very far. So even if you're living in an apartment building, or you're living in town, think about in your life, how many times has a water main broke somewhere and you went a day or two without water? It sucks. Can't flush toilets, you don't have anything to cook with, you don't have anything to drink with. If you have kids, you don't have anything to bathe with. So I would highly recommend that everybody has one of these in their house per person. If you have a family of 4, I'd really recommend 4. I mean, 50 gallons should last a person a while, especially if you're rationing it. If you're using it to flush toilets and bathing, you're going to go through it pretty quickly. But in an ideal situation, you're filling it up with your tap water, maybe every couple of years, maybe every year, you're draining it down your bathtub and you're filling it up again. But at least that way you have the most crucial element to staying alive right there at your house. So I hope you found this informative. If you did, please click like, subscribe. With me being a new channel, all of that really helps. I really do appreciate that. Leave a comment if you got some better ideas, some other little tricks I could do. But I felt like I could have got the great big tank that goes in the back of the truck. But I think this is better. I think this is more versatile because I can split them up. It's not just one tank, it's 2. A horse ride somewhere, I can throw this in the tack room of the horse trailer, and I can take water for us and the horses. I don't have to use pond water. I can use tap water. So, the whole idea of using the pond, that's the last resort. Tap water is primary. But I hope this is a good solution for us. So, again, please click like, subscribe, help my channel grow. So, good luck to you in your next projects.